This is an old quilt magazine from August of 1976. People give these to me and I hang on to them because not only back then did they give you the pattern, but they also would have quilting motifs in there that you could use on the quilts that you were doing. You can use these on any quilts. This is the Electric Quilt Company's CD that you put in your computer, and it will bring up all of these mini designs. As you see, there are all kinds of things. You can print them out on paper and then just transfer them to your quilt. So these are great. These are also great because when you print them out, you can tell them how big your block is, but tell it about an inch smaller so that you'll have a little bit of distance around it. But these are just really great. There are also books like this, Helen's Copy and Use. She gives you permission to copy these motifs. They are absolutely gorgeous. And you put them on your quilts. They've got just about everything in there. Here are a couple of other books that I have. These are for machine quilting, but they give you lots of ideas in here and things that you can use in long borders, blocks, whatever, and you just trace them on your quilt. So I have several of these, but we'll pick out some motifs now and get started. I've chosen this motif right here to go in the four corners of my quilt top, so we'll get ready and trace that now. I just slid the book up under this quilt top so that the blue line was even with the top of the book, and this blue line was about the same distance as the side was. Now I'm just going to trace it. Won't take long. You don't have to be exact, but be pretty careful. We want it to really look like it's a nice motif and symmetrical. These are great to do when you got a grandbaby coming. You might want to put their birth date and how much they weighed on it somewhere. Okay, I have this corner done. I'm just going to slide the book around to the other side so that I can do the other three corners. As you can see, our angel is coming along nicely. I used some motifs out of my book and did in the four corners. And then I used the little stencil I had. Now you go halfway, flip it over and rotate it, and it finishes. So make sure you don't just keep going in one direction if it's meant to repeat. I put a smaller section of it at the top and bottom. Now I will come along later and figure out what I want to do on the framework. And I may do some cross hatching on this one, but I'll show you my other one that we're going to work with today. Here's our completed angel. We have the angel and her heart. Then here are the little motifs I did down the sides and top and bottom, and the four corner pieces. I put some braid work in the edges. I don't know if you can see it right now. And I went back and added my cross hatching. That is just going at an angle and then coming back at the same angle, and it fills in that background very nicely and makes the rest of it really stand out. So we're ready to get started quilting. Follow the directions on your basting spray. I have layered my backing and my batting and my top and made sure my backing was larger than my batting, which was larger than my top. I want my edges to stick out a lot so that I'll be able to hand quilt them better. They'll have plenty to hook through the hoop. Make sure there are no discolored threads on here between the batting and the backing or the quilt top and the batting. Use a nice white batting so that it will show up really good. This is a cotton, a bleached cotton. Polyester would also do well. I'm going to spray just like the directions call for. Mine says 8 to 10 inches and allow it to dry. So I'm going to spray this part, let it dry, and then roll my batting back out onto it. I know it was right to start with, so I'm going to do this half, and then I will flip it around, roll it to the center, and spray it and roll it back out until I have all of my layers basted together. So we'll get started now. Now I'll let this dry and then layer it, and we'll come back and finish it. I have all the layers of my quilt tops spray basted together. They stick just enough that they're not going to slip anywhere. And the can says that it will last for several, weeks. I wouldn't leave it too long. And then you get ready to hoop it. We're going to take our hoop, loosen the top one, set it out of the way. Put the hoop underneath the part of the quilt that you want to work on first. Loosen it up good. And then hoop it again. Rehoop it. You'll have to open it a good bit because you've got all these layers in here now. Okay. And I used cotton batting, which is a little bit thicker. Polyester is the best thing to start out with. Now I like mine a little bit loose, so I'm going to hoop it like that and then snug it up a little bit. You don't have to snug it up a whole lot. And we're ready to get our needle and thread ready. So I'll get that and we'll get started.